Canal March, and welcome back to the podium our student teacher, Miss Amy Gray.
Sat down with his 3 graduate students and said, let's try and write a piece so that as a conductor we kind of know what the composer goes through. And so the next piece has the introduction and the closing written by the conducting professor. The opening is written by a master's conducting student named Brian Z. That's the Boatman Dance. The middle section is written by a master's education student named Lisa Galvin, and it is a ballad based on the tune Dixie. And the ending is Old Dan Tucker, and that was written by me. And so it's been a lot of fun to kind of rehearse this piece with this group, and the neat part about it is it was completed 5 or 6 years ago, and we printed out the parts we wrote, and we sent it to a couple different publishers to try to have it published. And Larry Dam Publications picked it up, and this is actually the first performance in the world of the published version of the piece. So we actually got the published work about a month ago, and so for the first time ever, this is the published version of Songs from the Heartland. I hope you enjoy it.
You may have noticed a couple special guests in the background of us. Miss Amy Gray, Miss Kay Reen, playing in our percussion section this afternoon. And in our final piece, there will also be some help from them, as well as the Stereola, as the pieces call for a large number of percussionists. We have 4 very talented percussionists who are playing, on average, probably 2 or 3 parts at once, but still need a little bit of help, so they're helping us out with the percussion section. Our next piece, sticking with the water theme of the spring, is The Return of the Dawn Treader, which is based on the mystical ship from the Chronicles of Narnia series. The Dawn Treader.
we have one more piece for you. Sorry, it takes 4 seconds. It's my turn. But before we do that, again, we're going to go ahead and recognize our year awards for each year that they participated. We have our first year award, again, is in numerals. And I'm going to ask our first years to stay standing until everybody's up. Our first years, Samantha Smith, Erica Cole, Casey Koth, Jesse Thomas, Kylie Hundley, Jessica Harbaugh, Tori Bargo, Celeste Bauman, Chet Lewis, Jackson Petersack, and Nicole Partridge. Our second years received a letter. It's a little bit different for band. It says band on the side, but we also have our band uniform, a little guy on the number as well to designate that it's for band. Our second year members, Matt Bright, Luke Burnett, Chris Fowl, Jason Garwood, Amanda Gangler, Crystal Hall, Chip Harbaugh, Jeff Holtinger, Daniel Moore, Elizabeth Pedrati, Kelsey Powell, Rebecca Schwall, Shelby Shope, and Martina Venzel. Our third years also get the patch and the gold bar. The patch is designated as band. Thanks. Our third years, Carly Bopp, Bianca Bepler, Andy Collins, Garrett Crawford, Xavier Eberhardt, Megan Mintz, Ryan Scott, and Michaela Stone. Our fourth year members, all of whom again will receive the $100 scholarship from the Music Boosters. This year's fourth years are a little bit of a different circumstance. With band, one of the neat things with band is not only like choir, I get to see the students for all 4 years, but with band there's a whole lot of outside of school work. There are after school practices, all the football games, all the pep band games, all the parades, ceremonies, luncheons, etc. You guys all know, you're the parents, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, as well as band camp. And so one of the really neat things, obviously with this year, is these seniors were the freshmen that were here when I started teaching here. So it's kind of a neat thing to finally say, these are the freshmen. So it's going to be kind of an interesting thing going into next year without these guys to pester and annoy and etc. But also a lot of musical talent, a lot of fun personalities and such. So it's kind of a neat year in that regard. So, Aaron Yeager. Aaron has been a strong leader in the percussion section from his freshman year. He's always worked hard and helped to encourage others to do the same. It's been a lot of fun to work with he and the rest of the percussion section on this concert in particular. As you'll see coming up with our next piece, there's a monster amount of percussion equipment involved. So it's been a lot of fun to get to know and enjoy Aaron Yeager. Jesse Kazee. As a teacher, it is great to be able to experience students' lives for 4 years of high school, especially when over those 4 years, the student grows and matures. Jesse has really stepped up this year into a leadership position. This was particularly true during marching band while I played the quads, and he carried it through the entire year into the trumpet section. I've been quite proud of Jesse and hope that he continues this growth after high school. Jesse Kazee.
Liz Bright. Liz Bright has developed into quite an impressive horn player, as I'm sure you've been hearing throughout the concert. She has been the foundation of our horn section, though small it has been, for 4 years. She has worked hard, been determined, and been quite successful. Liz Bright. Dylan Warner. Dylan Warner has been a great leader all through his high school career. There's never been a moment when I had to wonder if he knew what he was doing in band. Not only was he sure to know his part, but if someone else was struggling, he was anxious to help. His leadership, among other fine attributes, will be missed next year. Dylan Warner. Tim Freshour. If you look up dedicated in the dictionary, Tim Freshour should be there. He's a student that has been quiet and hard-working all 4 years. He has always had a positive attitude and has always worked hard to do his best. I'm extremely proud of his perseverance throughout all of the challenges of high school band and his success that he has accomplished throughout these 4 years. Tim Freshour. Aaron Cole has one of the most enjoyable and unique personalities of any of my students. He has been enthusiastic and excited in everything we've done. He has a positive attitude and his good moods are contagious. It has been a lot of fun having Aaron as a student and watching him in the back of the room when he doesn't think I'm watching. He's been a great student, he's been a hard worker. Thank you very much, Aaron Cole. Cassie Hutton has been a dedicated flute player all throughout high school. She has always been at events early, always had a positive attitude, and her smile is quite contagious. When she is given a task, she has always worked her hardest to do her best. Thank you, Cassie Hutton. De'Aaron Isaac. It took me a long time to think about what to say about Dee. He has been an inspiration to so many, not just the folks in his grade, but to students throughout many grades. I hear band students to 8th grade say they want to be like Dee. I hear students even younger commenting about him marching with the band in his football uniform. I hear teachers talk about his great attributes, as well as coaches, parents, and community members. I consider myself lucky to have gotten to work with a student so talented as Dee. Our next award is the Semper Fidelis Award, which will be presented by Sergeant Wesley Davis, and he's on his way up here right now, and he will be talking about and presenting this prestigious award. Please welcome him to the podium.
Good afternoon. Thank you. among so many gifted young men and women. You know, it's a pleasure to go to Sunday service on a Sunday, come home and think your day is done, you come out here and get to listen to some good music. Thank you all. All right, I'm here to present the Musician Award to 2 young men and women. I must say it was very hard for Mr. Roberts to choose with so many great music scholars on stage to choose from. I'd like you all to join with me and give a round of applause to Miss Elizabeth Bright. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Our final award is the John Philip Sousa Award, and I just want to mention just a little bit about it. Since its inauguration in 1954, the John Philip Sousa Band Award has been given to thousands of outstanding high school band students for superior musicianship, leadership, dependability, and loyalty. The Sousa Award is the most prestigious award for high school band students. John Philip Sousa was not only a renowned composer and band leader, he was also a strong supporter of school music programs. He appeared as a guest conductor of school bands throughout the United States and adjudicated numerous youth band festivals. Sousa is a pillar of American music, and his music inspires everyone who hears and performs it. This award has traditionally been voted on by students as well as the music faculty. And one of the lines that struck me as I read this about the description of the award is that Sousa was a strong supporter of school music programs. And the recipient of this award has shown more than anybody what it is to be a member of a school music program. De'Aaron Isaac has done a fantastic job in both band and choir, as well as an all-star in the drama department. And so it is with great pleasure that I announce that De'Aaron Isaac is our recipient this year.
Since that's gift enough to have us for 4 years. If you didn't know, Mr. and Mrs. Roberts are having a kid, so we got their daughter gifts.
Mommy's little smarty pants.
Our last piece we're going to perform, we've been working on since November. It's an enormous piece. It's a lot of fun. It's very exciting. And it's based on the book Moby Dick. Each movement is based on one of the characters of the story. And pay attention to what's going on there. Mr. Walt Harris is going to narrate before each movement, there's a small excerpt from the book to be read. And this has been one of the most exciting pieces to work on as a whole band, and particularly with the percussion section. This piece typically takes about 8 to 10 people to play, and they've been doing almost the entire piece with just 4 of them. So don't be too distracted by their sprinting around backstage trying to get everything going. But it's very impressive, and I'm very proud of our percussion section for everything they've done on this piece. There are 5 movements, 1 movement for each character, and I hope that you enjoy Of Sailors in Wales.
Call me Ishmael. I go to sea as a simple sailor, right before the mast, hung down into the forecastle, aloft there to the royal masthead. I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coast. By reasons of these things, then, the whaling voyage was welcome. The great floodgates of the wonder world swung open. There floated in my inmost soul endless processions of the whale, and one grand, hooded phantom, like a snow hill in the air. high priest. And on the maternal side, he boasted aunts who were the wives of uncontrollable warriors. There was excellent blood in his veins, royal stuff. It was quite plain that he must be some abominable savage, but Heatwave was a creature in the transitory state, neither caterpillar nor butterfly. Savage though he was, and hideously marred about the face, his countenance yet had something in it which was by no means disagreeable. You cannot hide the soul. Through all his unearthly tattooings, I thought I saw the traces of a simple, honest heart. And in his large, deep eyes, fiery black and bold, there seemed tokens of a spirit that could dare 1,000 devils. In such tones, he commenced reading the following hymn. As I leveled my glance towards the taffrail, foreboding shivers ran over me. Reality outran apprehension. Captain Ahab stood on his quarterdeck. So powerfully did the whole grim aspect of Ahab affect me that for the first few moments I hardly noted that not a little of this overbearing grimness was owing to the barbaric white leg upon which he partly stood. Dixie, combinedly possessed by all the angels that fell from heaven. Retribution, swift vengeance, eternal malice were in his whole aspect. The birds, they marked the spot. The whale, up helm, up helm. Oh, all ye sweet powers of air, he turns to meet us. My God, stand by me now.
I hope that you all have a great summer and hopefully a drier rest of the spring. Have a great afternoon. Thank you very much.